everyone they loved all died. When the music ends, the blood price is paid.
And then if you can't find a chair to sit in, you're out. With Wish Upon hitting theaters this week, I had the option to either take a look at other films inspired by the monkey's paw, or take a look at teen-based horror. Let's talk teen horror, and I'm gonna clarify right now that I am including college age in this. Now, while horror films have always attracted a younger audience, it wasn't really until I Was a Teenage Werewolf in 1957 that a genre film really focused on teenagers as the major characters in the story. The film stars Michael Landon, who you probably know from Bonanza, Little House on the Prairie, and Highway to Heaven, where he actually parodied this film with 1987's Halloween episode, I Was a Middle-Aged Werewolf. And I'm not gonna lie, when that series showed up on Netflix the other day, I tracked that episode down and it does hold up. AIP, who produced the film, followed it up with I Was a Teenage Frankenstein, Blood of Dracula, and How to Make a Monster. And with that, the teen horror subgenre was born. But the 70s are really where teen horror started to shift into what we know today. Carrie, directed by Brian De Palma and based on Stephen King's first novel, checks pretty much all the boxes you'd have on your teen horror score sheet. The nice girl protagonist, the religious zealot, the good-looking cast who gets massacred in the final act, the jump scare ending. All that was missing was the masked madman that would go on to become a staple of the genre. While John Carpenter's Halloween is considered by many as the benchmark that started slashers as we know them, it certainly wasn't the first. Black Christmas, in which an unknown assailant stalks a sorority house, really should get the credit for launching 1,000 ships that all carried masked madmen with a predilection for getting stabby on special occasions. That grew throughout the end of the 70s, but right around the same time that Halloween took a weird but awesome detour, Jason Voorhees put on his hockey mask for the first time, and it was clear that the teen slasher formula was a cash cow that led to some of the most iconic films in horror, like Prom Night, My Bloody Valentine, and of course, A Nightmare on Elm Street. The thing was, all these teen slasher movies had the necessary amounts of gratuitous nudity and violence, I know what I said, to get them slapped with an R rating, and that meant a lot of teenagers, arguably the target audience, couldn't actually see them, you know, officially. Following Gremlins and Temple of Doom scarring the shit out of kids, parents freaked out and the MPAA introduced the PG-13 rating. Studios figured out that that meant they could walk the line a bit and get a PG-13 and then suddenly get 4 extra years worth of their target demo, and more importantly, 4 extra years of their allowance. Now, I know PG-13 horror gets a bit of a bum rap, but I want to remind you of The Monster Squad, The Gate, Poltergeist 2, Lady in White, Arachnophobia, Tremors, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, The Ring, The Hole, Insidious, The Last Exorcism, The Woman in Black, 10 Cloverfield Lane, and countless other movies that thrive with the rating. Okay, I'm about to go full old man on you. There's this thing a lot of younger people today don't realize, and that's that Scream changed everything. It did in the 90s what Halloween had done in the 70s, while having a smug cynicism that was basically the most 90s thing ever. Seriously, just watch this.
And number 3, never, ever, ever, under any circumstances say, I'll be right back. Because you won't be back.
I'm getting another beer. You want one?
Yeah, sure.
I'll be right back.
There's something decidedly Gen X about acknowledging a set of rules and then immediately disobeying them out of spite. Scream led to a plethora, that's right, a plethora, of imitators trying to capitalize on its success, leading to a renaissance of teen-centric horror. I Know What You Did Last Summer, The Faculty, Urban Legend, Idle Hands, Teaching Mrs. Tingle, Cherry Falls, etc., etc., etc. Then, those films got sequels. Then, the movies from the 70s got sequels. Then, the movies from the 70s got remakes, and that pretty much accounts for the last 15 to 20 years. Okay, I'm over-exaggerating, but it has been hard to figure out teen horror in the teens. Movies like Unfriended, Don't Hang Up, and #horror tread into integrating the modern landscape of the internet and social media with the simple morality tales that have been the basis of the genre for decades, all while trying to appeal to a generation even more smugly cynical than Gen X. That shit is hard to do. We do have a couple movies coming that seem to recapture some of that 90s teen horror heyday. Happy Death Day has a college student named Tree stuck in a time loop on her birthday, a birthday where she's murdered. She has to figure out who keeps killing her and why in hopes to survive and move on to the next day. It stars Jessica Roth and was written and directed by Christopher Landon, son of Michael Landon from I Was a Teenage Werewolf. How's that for a callback? It's due in theaters on Friday, October 13th. In theaters this week is Wish Upon, starring Joey King as Claire. It's a bit of a retelling of The Monkey's Paw, where Claire and her father, played by I Know What You Did Last Summer's Ryan Felipe, cause that doesn't make me feel old, find a mysterious music box and she discovers that it will grant her 7 wishes.
That's good.
The wishes do come with a bloody price.
Ooh, that's bad.
But it comes with a free Frogurt.
That's good.
The Frogurt is also cursed.
That's bad.
You can see it today. So what do you think of teen horror? What about PG-13 horror? Let us know in the comments, and until next time, Fright Hype and Crypt TV are all over the internet. I'll see you then.